All right, everyone. Today we're going to break down just how well the Patriots are going to do over this next season. So I've kind of broken up the schedule into tough games, up for grabs games, and some easy games. So I think that the Patriots really tough game. By the way, I think that the Patriots are a pretty solid team going into this next season. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl or even the AFC East, but I think that they're going to be pretty solid and definitely be positive. So I think that they're really, really tough games that they probably won't win, like 8, 9 times out of 10 they will not win, are against both times against the Bills. I think the Bills are going to be really good this season. They're playing the Buccaneers and they're playing the Browns. I think that all four of those teams, when they play, the Patriots will likely not win unless they just have a good day and the other team does not have a good day. So I'd say I'd give the Patriots one of those games, probably one against the Bills. And then for the up for grabs games, the games that really could go either way, I think that they're pretty even with. I have both the Dolphins games, the Chargers, the Titans, and the Colts. So I would say that the Patriots could win theoretically 3 of those, maybe against one against the Dolphins, one against the Colts, one against the Chargers, whatever. But I think that all of those could really go either way. And then there are the easy games, the ones against the Jets, the Saints, the Texans, the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Jaguars. I think that those games should be pretty manageable for the Patriots. Obviously we'll see how they look when the season starts, but I think that going into the season, these are teams that the Patriots could beat. So I'd say that the Patriots win 6 or probably even 7 of those. Probably one of the teams, maybe like the Saints or the Cowboys, one of the higher end of those teams will steal one. And so I have the Patriots winning 7 of those. And so with all that, I have the Patriots going probably around 11-6 for this next season. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in for more predictions. So I think that the Bills are going to be really, really, really good this next season. I have them winning pretty much every game on here. The only tough ones I have for the Bills are the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, and I still think that they'll probably even split those. Usually I try to split the games into tough games that are up for grabs, like 50-50, and games that are easy. And most of these games, I thought that the Bills almost definitely can win that if they play to their highest level. Which obviously there's a couple flukes in between, but I really think that the Bills are going to win pretty much every game this season. And like I said, I think that the Chiefs and the Buccaneers are going to be the only thing that give the Bills a hard time. So I'll say that the Bills can even split that, like maybe beat the Chiefs but lose to the Buccaneers, that kind of thing. But they're playing, I think that they will, to be honest, split the AFC East. I think they'll beat the Dolphins twice, the Patriots twice, the Jets twice. And then they're playing other teams, like I think they'll beat the Steelers, the football team, Texans, Titans, Jaguars, Colts, Saints, Panthers, and Falcons. I think that they can beat pretty much all those teams. Obviously, like I said before, things happen, so I won't give them all those wins, but I think that they can, if they play to their best potential, win all those games if they really want to. So I have them, I'd say they could lose like 2 of those games, like 2 flukes in there. So I'd say that they win 13 of those 15, and then I think that with the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, they win 1 of those, but lose the other. So I have the Bills at 14-3. I have the Bills really, really high next season. I think they could possibly even be my favorite to go to the Super Bowl, but not to win the Super Bowl, because I think the Super Bowl winner will be in the NFC. But I have the Bills at 14-3 and getting really, really far in the playoffs. So I wouldn't say things are looking exactly bright for the New York Jets this season. I don't know that they made very many good moves over the offseason. I think that they will be a little bit better than last year, like marginally better, but only by like a win, maybe 2 if they play better than I'm expecting. But I think they're going to be not very good. I kind of broke down the schedule a little bit, and I think they'll beat the Texans. They're playing the Texans, which they kind of lucked out with, because I don't know that the Texans are beating anyone. And a couple teams that they're kind of up for grabs with are, I think, the Broncos, the Jaguars, and the Eagles. They have games against all of them. I think they could win 2 out of 3 of those games for like 3 wins. But then they have really tough opponents other than that, like Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, the Titans, the Colts, the Buccaneers. And then even like some kind of like teams that I would say are kind of mid, I still think they're going to have a problem with, because I just don't think they did really anything enough to progress themselves over the offseason. So I think that the Saints will beat them, the Panthers will beat them, the Falcons will beat them, and the Bengals will beat them. I'll give them, even the Bengals, who I don't think are even going to be very good. I'll give them one win out of all those tough teams. So maybe they like steal one against the Falcons or the Bengals. And then I think that they could be maybe like the Broncos and the Eagles, and then I think they'll be the Texans. For 4 wins, I think would be fair, but I really think that this is just going to be another tough year for the Jets because they just cannot seem to make the right moves for themselves. So I'll put the Jets at a little bit better, marginally better, like I said before, 4 wins and 13 losses. But I really think that this is going to be a very, very tough season for the Jets, and that's with a not very tough schedule. So the Dolphins are a team that's a little bit hard to place because I just don't really know how good they'll be. I feel like going into last season, I did not think they'd be very good at all, and they ended up being pretty good, mostly because of their defense and special teams, that which were really solid, and their coaching. So, but that makes them a little bit hard to place. I still think they'll be good. I just really don't know how good. Luckily, for prediction's sake, they have a very divisive schedule. Like they're either playing a really good team or a really bad team. They're not playing a lot of teams that they're really on par with, I feel like. But again, I really don't know exactly where to place them because they're just a little bit unpredictable, I think, going into this offseason. But I figured that for some of their tougher opponents, I don't think they can beat the Bills, the Colts, the Buccaneers, the Ravens, and the Titans. I think those will all be games for them that are just, for the most part, unwinnable, except for a fluke. Maybe I'll give them one of those wins, probably against like the Colts, who I think will be on the lower end of that tier. The only games I said were kind of up for grabs were the ones against the Patriots. Other than that, I felt like they weren't really even with anyone else. And so I'd say that they probably split with the Patriots. And then they got pretty lucky with their schedule because I think that they're playing a lot of bad teams. They're playing the Jets twice, the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Falcons, the Texans, the Panthers, the Giants, and the Saints, who I think they're very capable of beating all of them. I think that obviously things happen, so I think that they'll win like 7 out of 9 of those games. And so I think if you break it down that way, the Dolphins have 9 wins and 8 losses, making them third in the AFC East, which I think is pretty reasonable. But again, this is a very unpredictable team who like maybe they'll be good, maybe they'll be great, or maybe they'll be garbage. I just really don't know. So I think that 9 and 8 is a pretty safe bet to predict for them for this next season. So in conclusion to all this, I think that the AFC East is going to be a really tough division next year. I think that the Bills are going to come out on top. I think they'll be 14-3. I have the Patriots second at 11-6, the Dolphins third at 9-8, and the Jets in dead last at 4-13. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.